time to find these tremendous Mazda savings than right now at Team Mazda. Get 0% financing on any new Mazda CX-5, Mazda CX-30, Mazda CX-50, or the Mazda CX-90. Find out just how much you can save at Team Mazda on Airline.
Coming up on 7:03 here on this day after Francine was a hurricane, tropical depression here on a Thursday morning. Yeah,
fast. That was the good news. At least it kind of blew through us.
And as predicted too.
Exactly right. It was exactly what the storm team was looking at. Like, look, once it gets here, it is going to book out of here. But what it left behind, we're seeing some, and look, kudos to all the crews, not just WAFB, everybody out there working hard to try and tell the story so nobody else has to get out there and get around. But it left some stuff behind, man. And kudos to everybody out there in South Louisiana knowing what to do and not being out there and being a part of this mess. It was a lot. It wasn't the major storm, the major storm. Did enough though.
I like the way y'all were showing in the storm center how the track was over here first, and then the next update, and then the final updates. They all kind of came together.
Yeah,
that's pretty powerful. You guys have some tools, and y'all know how to work them.
And it definitely adds context. I want to add my kudos to the public out there because they took it seriously. This isn't our first rodeo. You might hear a Cat 1 and lean back a little bit, but I really felt like the folks in town and around the viewing area really obeyed, they listened, they stayed off the roads, everything was very quiet, and I think that's going to pay dividends today and tomorrow to try to help get the power back on.
And I think what's reflective of that is in every parish we've checked in with so far, we haven't heard any deaths as of yet. We haven't heard of any major injuries. Now we are tracking a few of the injuries, including to a trooper who was removing a tree in an area, so we're getting checks on that, but largely to your point here, people are taking this seriously. When you say Cat 1 storm, it's still, any storm is a major storm that we're going to take because you just don't know the impact of that.
That's right, and actually the National Weather Service, they just got on social media and they told everybody don't go sightseeing right now, hold on, let the lights come up so we can really assess the damage and let the professionals get out there and do what they need to do, especially for all the linemen out there. We need them desperately, and we need the winds to stay below 30 miles per hour. That's their threshold. They can get everything back online. I think in that regard the weather will cooperate, and hopefully they'll be able to get everybody back up and running because we know it's going to start getting hotter. That's kind of the bad thing after a tropical storm, right? You get the dry air, but then it starts to heat up again. So we want to get everybody restored as quickly as possible.
And to your point about, get the linemen out there early, that's why CATS is delaying their services until 8 o'clock. They want to get the road folks out there. Garbage collection will happen today and recyclables, but not until a little later this morning. Make sure that the roads are okay. And
all intentional.
All intentional, I mean, we... as a city, we did a pretty good job.
Right. And obviously we have, much more than just the, Baton Rouge, the viewing areas, 79 parishes, and I think South Louisiana did a really pretty good job with Francine. And now comes the hard part, but it's something that we're used to. It is standing up
easier, but we're using
helping stand up our neighbors again. I was coming into work this morning, and not a lot of issues out in my part of the world. Didn't lose power, thankfully. But there's some trees down in neighbors' yards. No houses hit, that kind of thing. No cars hit, but they ain't where they're supposed to be. Those trees, and so that's what we're going to be dealing with. To your point, got to get all this stuff picked up. This is where South Louisiana starts to kind of shoulder to shoulder get it done.
And the city of St. George's first hurricane.
Stop it! All right. It's
the inaugural storm.
It's
all
the
one
same
parish.
thing.
Come on, we're all
But you know what, guys, to that end, we were looking at some numbers and just put a little context behind it. So this one, Francine, this was the 8th Category 2 or higher that has made a Louisiana landfall just since the year 2000. So just over the past 25 years, I mean, we really have emerged as basically the tropical capital of this country. And remember, we've had even more than that. That's just Category 2 plus. And you can draw a lot of the comparisons to Ida. Actually, for Baton Rouge, it was similar to Ida. We had about a 60-mile-per-hour wind gust in both of them. Of course, Ida was much worse, beast of a storm. But again, hopefully this is, fingers crossed, the only one we're going to have to deal with. Definitely, we have went over our quota here in Louisiana. We deserve to get a nice long break.
You want to talk about what we got coming our way now then with forecast, where she is now, what we got coming?
So.
Yeah, she's falling apart. Yeah, absolutely. Down to a depression. We like to hear that. It's the one time that we hear the word depression. We actually like that as a positive connotation, right? Okay, you're looking live over the False River. A little bit gloomy out and still a little bit of a breeze out there. That's to be expected. Matter of fact, we're probably going to hold on to those winds for a little while longer. Sustained 16 out of the west, gusting around 30. Again, we want to keep it below 30. That's going to be helpful. 73 out your door, and we'll make our way just to the 80s today. So the big heat doesn't come back, not yet anyway. Now you see that the flash flood watch is over. It has been allowed to expire because now it is after 7 a.m. They're still holding on to a little bit of yellow, the tropical alert out to the east. That too will subside over the next hour or so. But man, oh man, was the rain. It really did range quite a bit. Now, if you went west of Baton Rouge towards Lafayette, barely anything, right? Barely enough to wet the ground anyway. But you look around the lakes, Maurepas and Pontchartrain, I mean, goodness, you see all these bullseyes out there. Doppler estimated 8 to 10 inches of rain in some of those spots. Now, our current radar, we're not really seeing anything. I didn't want to completely zero out the chance of rain for today, though, because as you know, you're well versed in this. After a hurricane or a tropical storm moves through, sometimes you can wrap a little precipitation down. I think it's going to be really limited. I have a 20%. Not even in love with that. It's probably even lower than that. So for the most part, we're going to be drying things out for today. And there you go. It's losing its tropical signature. It doesn't really even look like a tropical storm anymore, so it is down to a depression. Look at that big punch of dry, stable air moving in, really giving it a nudge, pushing it a little bit faster out of our way. Gone are some of those tornado watch boxes. That's good news out to the east as well. So even though we got this dry air, remember what you're looking at here. This is water vapor imagery, so you're looking higher up in the atmosphere. So remember, just because it's really dry right here, it doesn't mean it's not still cloudy. So we still have overcast conditions, but that should subside as the day goes on. We'll get a little more sunshine. Yeah, there's my 20%. I don't feel so great about it. Just a couple of little green sprinkles moving through. I think you're going to love the weather tonight because the dew points really start to drop. So the temperature is going to be able to drop along with it, right? We'll see those dew points get back down to the 60s. That's good. That's what we like to see this time of year. Now, I haven't been showing this graphic a lot over the past few weeks. Really haven't had to, right? But now I'm showing it because as we get into the weekend, you see the heat indices. They're going to start pumping back into the 90s. So yeah, we definitely want to try to get power restored to everybody before we get to the weekend, right? So there's that 20%, and it's barely even that. High temperature today, not so high at about 85 degrees. By the way, in case you were wondering, this was compiled by Dr. Steve Caparata, and he had Baton Rouge topping out very close to a 60-mile-per-hour wind gust. But you look down to the southern part of the viewing area, places like Dulac getting nearly a 100-mile-per-hour wind gust there. That was clocked, that was observed in that area. Of course, they were very close to landfall, which ended up being a Category 2. 709 out your door. Johnny A., hopefully things quieting down out there.
So Cat 2 is 100?
So 100 is Cat 2. When you get over 95, you're Cat 2. So this is a lower end Cat 2, but definitely we were seeing some 100-mile-per-hour winds on the coast.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wild. Thank you, Jared Silverman. Good morning, everybody. Looking pretty good on the interstate systems through Baton Rouge. A lot of folks still have today off because their offices are closed. Some offices still without power in our area, certainly south and east of here, big time. But right now, I'm not surprised if this would be a light either flashing. The camera is out at that intersection. That's Airline Highway at Old Hammond Highway, right there by Hammond Air Mall. Seeing unusually heavy delays in that area early this morning, and that's indicative of possible power outages or the lights malfunctioning at that intersection. Meanwhile, the interstates are very light traffic this morning, as before mentioned, because a lot of folks aren't even getting out there today until tomorrow. Bridge traffic has resumed to normal this morning. It's into and out of Baton Rouge. You're fine, and we'll have an update right after a short break on the CATS bus services for today, garbage collection, and a lot more that we're following here on WAFB 9 News Now on the Big Plus. We do it every weekday morning at 7 a.m., and we're doing it today. Liz and Matt will be right back. Stay with us.
7:12 your time. Let's run through a few of the stories, including maybe a crash because of the weather.
Yeah, so this is actually at the corner of Flannery and Choctaw. So just know that the north and southbound lanes there, that's going to be blocked right now because of that blocked debris and trees that are around there. Not sure if they are connected yet, but we'll find out. Just if you do not have to be out on the roads today, officials are asking you all across the state to please keep non-essential travel to a minimum here. So please do not get out if you don't need to be. That's going to be a big deal here. And so with that in mind, we want to get you an update on power outages as we continue to track Francine here. So you can see poweroutage.us showing a lot of red as we go down to our lower line parishes there along the coast. St. John, Ascension, even Gonzales is seeing a large amount of outages. In fact, if we go from poweroutage.us, you've got about 400,000 customers across the state with outages. But if we can show you the next map, I believe with our local utility companies, this is Entergy's outage map. You see a lot of red, especially as you go down to Terrebonne, Lafourche, and then when you go up to our viewing area, still seeing a lot of red. And the most of that we're seeing in Gonzales, and you can see as Ascension kind of dips in there right along the Mississippi, still seeing a lot of red. Entergy's supposed to have an update at 9 this morning where we're hoping to get some update on restoration times, but that's not all. Demco also seeing a large amount of outages as well. So we're going to track that for you hour by hour as we get into our next newscast.
I want to get you right over to the CATS issues, and Johnny's been talking about this. It will resume today. The CATS bus system will get going again today. Delayed start right around 8 o'clock this morning, but again, you can check the app, you can check the website for the latest. Also, trash pickup is going to get back to it. In East Baton Rouge and in West Baton Rouge, we've got the updates. Trash pickup is going to get back up. Again, a bit delayed. They're going to make sure the roads are okay first. Want to make sure everything is good to go here, Liz, and then they're going to get back out there. If your normal day was Wednesday, it's going to be delayed, of course, to that next pickup day. But there you see EBR, West Baton Rouge, and Tangi, the landfill hours, the pickup hours, starting to get back to normal.
That's it. So if you want to keep in mind, we're going to look ahead to a press conference. The governor expected to outline what's next for the state and its recovery plans moving forward. Remember, he's already gotten that disaster declaration approved from President Joe Biden. So today he's going to tour some of the areas impacted by that, and we'll get you what we can after we visit with him.
Day after. Deep breath, Louisiana. We need you to stand up and help your neighbors like we always do. Yeah.
Join us for another update in about 10 minutes. Woosah.
It's time to gear up for game day at Team Toyota. Right now, get a new 24 Tacoma for just $269 a month, or get 2.99% financing for 72 months on a new Toyota Tundra. Score thousands in savings on your new Toyota from Team Toyota. I-12 at O'Neill.